Oh my gosh, that's not a nice sound here. Ladies.
It works.
Ladies, welcome once again to Lausanne. I'm very happy to see so many familiar faces here. And first things first, I have to apologize for my rather British accent I have tonight. I'm binge watching Outlander on Netflix. That's the main reason for that. And I tend to adapt to foreign dialects pretty fast, so apologies for my rather Scottish accent tonight. I can only say it's a very good TV show, but I don't want to spoil it for you, so I won't tell anything about the content. But I'm happy to be here together with this beautiful lady here. That's Marie-Hélène Lair, Head of Innovation at Clarins from Paris. Please give her a warm applause. You know, Clarins is one of our sponsors tonight, and we're very happy to have you here from Paris. And I heard
very happy.
You could not travel so far. That's one of the first times you travel again.
My first business trip for you. Thank you so much, Sandra, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
So let's get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have heard what your role is.
Yeah.
You're head of innovation. We will talk for sure about innovation in the next 15 to 20 minutes. But for sure, we want to know or get to know you as a human being and not only as you in your role at Clarins Paris.
It would be very long, you know. 58. Wow.
But you look gorgeous. Just to say
Thank you.
It's for sure. It's just because you use Clarins products, I'm for sure of that.
Of course.
But let's talk about that. I have a favorite first question in my interviews, and it goes like this. What is the scent of your childhood?
The center.
The scent.
The scent.
Perfume.
I think it was the perfume of my mother, Eau Dynamisante. She was really in love with this perfume because it's not a perfume. It's a very specific water full of energy, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of memories come up when you think of that scent, of that perfume?
In French, we say Madeleine de Proust. Oh yeah, very strange. I think her yoga lessons.
Really?
Because, like that. Because she, like me, I love yoga, and she was fond of yoga. And I remember just before and after a session, she sprayed, this eau dynamisante, just for the energy, the good mood, and so on. Yeah, so it's linked with yoga. I don't know why.
But she was an early adopter then of yoga.
Exactly.
Because that was when?
But first, it was a very strange yoga. Do you know the Iyengar?
Mm-hmm.
You know. It's very weird to know this Iyengar. Because I started with the Hatha, Vinyasa, like everybody, I think so. And I discovered this Iyengar, and I never stopped. Because for me, it's like a medical session. You see, to stay well, in good shape. I love this Iyengar for ages now.
And you're very fond of herbs, I heard. Yeah. So you're fond of yoga and you're fond of herbs.
Champagne.
And champagne. Okay, good.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. And herbs, yeah. It's a long story because of my two grandfathers. Mm-hmm. I remember in Bretagne, in Brittany, because I come from the west of France, they had two beautiful gardens. Mm-hmm. And I remember all the cooking they prepared, my grandmothers prepared with the haricots verts, with all the vegetables and the fruits. And I was fascinated by all these glasses, they put jars, in the houses. And I said, perhaps a day I will have the same garden. And this is my wish for my next professional life after Clarins. At 70 years old or things like that, with the age of retreat now. I would like to have a garden, a cooking garden, because that's life. Everything comes from nature, and I would like to know deeply all the details, all the secrets of these herbs. That's why last summer I started a new training. I will be I don't know, herborist next year. It's very difficult, Sandra. It's a lot of lessons with Latin, even Latin to know the name of the plants, botanics, ecology, what else? Genetics also. Wow, so complicated, but fascinating, really.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But let's, again, just learn a little bit about you. You studied pharmacy.
Yeah.
Where did you study that?
In Paris.
In Paris. So why pharmacy?
Because I wanted to learn medicine. And I said, oh la la, medicine studies, it's so long. I prefer to start working. I'm very practical, you know, very operational as a lady. And that's why I said, no, I'm going to start pharmacy studies because it is only 6 years long. So I said, okay. And after these years, I started to work and I discovered the advice. How you can help people by giving advice, by listening, first of all, by anticipating the wishes of the person you have in front of you. And I would like for my next life, after Clarins, to merge this passion of herbs and this passion of listening, of helping, of accompanying people. That's why I would like to become an herborist.
Mm-hmm. And you have been working for quite a number of amazing brands.
Yeah.
Also for Chanel.
Yeah.
What did you do at Chanel?
Before Chanel, I started at Johnson & Johnson. So I had also the industrial way. Mm-hmm. After I joined Chanel and I worked 13 years for Chanel. It was, of course, a beautiful pathway. But at Chanel, the skincare is not the priority. But at Chanel, I had the opportunity to discover beautiful other plants in Nepal, in Madagascar. I made beautiful trips and I discovered all the fair trade programs as an example at Chanel. And I was very lucky because I had a lot of budget. So I had the possibility to share with movies all these fascinating trips. And I discovered at Chanel the risk of greenwashing. And Chanel is like Clarins. They are very honest, very human brands. So greenwashing it's not possible when you work with a lot of authenticity, a lot of sincerity. And for me, it's a priority. It's one of the common points between Chanel and Clarins, human brands with a lot of sincerity. But at Clarins, the priority is skincare. Mm-hmm. So that's why now I'm so happy to work for this human company.
Mm-hmm. So it's still family owned. A lot of people do not know that.
Yeah. You have Olivier and Christian Courtin. They are the two brothers, the owners of this beautiful brand after the creation by their father in 1954. And nowadays, I have the opportunity and the luck to work with the daughters, and mainly with Virginie Courtin. She's the daughter of Christian Courtin. Always a family story. And Virginie created 2 years ago now all the strategy around the sustainability at Clarins. Sustainability is in the DNA of this beautiful brand, but it was not well organized in terms of strategy. So she started to organize all these tools, all these priorities as a real strategic plan. And I'm very lucky because a part of my job is to make this strategy visible. Mm-hmm. So this evening, with all my new friends, for an example, but also on internet with videos, in terms of training also, because our BAs are also our ambassadors and they have to know this book by heart, you know, and to know the Clarins CSA Bible. But also I infuse, I drive in all our new products with my other cap, you know, the innovation cap. I infuse all these values in our products.
But what does innovation mean at Clarins? Because it's such an abstract concept once in a while when you talk about the innovation, right? So what does it mean at Clarins?
It's a very tricky, complicated question, Sandra, because when you think about innovation, you think about new, novelty, When you manage a brand such as Clarins, you have to stay very faithful to our consumers because they are faithful. So you don't have to disappoint them with completely new formulas, new textures, new scents. So you have always to bring innovation, state-of-the-art formulation in our new products without changing everything, without changing the signature of Clarins products, sensoriality, texture, fragrance, and so on. So it's quite an invisible innovation, but existing innovation. Because I'm very lucky, I have daily exchange, daily work with all my friends in the labs.
I just wanted to say, does the innovation come from the lab or from nature?
Both.
Both.
And transfer technology outside, out of the box, you see? Because this innovation can come from also sociology, new behaviors of consumers after this sanitary crisis, as an example. So we have to be very cautious, to be very curious about the new trends coming from science, coming from sociology, coming from culture also, but always keeping also our values and our DNA. So it's a blend of keeping the same values, but to merge in with a lot of novelties coming from everywhere, because all our products are present all over the world. China, New York, UK, Africa. So it's really the French culture present everywhere, infused with a lot of innovation.
So then let's start with nature.
Yeah.
Do you have people in the field who collect new herbs and coming back? Can we imagine it like so?
We
something
have
like that, or how can we imagine that?
Alors, one of my friends is Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre is there. I will show you my Bible with you. With my son as an intern, you see, with Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre is a fantastic guy, so he's an ethnobotanist. And his role is really to select not new plants, but plants coming from all over the world, but mainly from Europe now because of sustainability. And to work closely with all our phytochemists to discover at the heart of these plants the interesting molecules for skin. So it's really a beautiful partnership with a local gardening and these...
so Clarins have gardens?
Yeah, we have a garden in the Alps.
Yes.
We're speaking about the Domaine Clarins, located near Annecy. You know Annecy, it's not so far away from Lausanne. Huh? So it's a small garden, but for me it's not a garden. It's an open air lab, because there we study the behavior of plants at this altitude, 1,400 meters high, with under the snow, with the temperature. You see, it's very harsh in terms of environment. So we know that the plants know how to fight against all these aggressions. And they have a solution to survive. They produce key molecules such as antioxidants, and by chance, all these wonderful molecules are so good for the skin. And my job is really to make a link between the defense of these plants and the defense of our skin, and it works. So that's why in our products we have 4 plant extracts coming from plants, coming from the Domaine Clarins, totally organic.
But just speaking of sustainability, you just mentioned it. So it's a tricky thing to be really sustainable.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need like plants that are coming from Asia or from the African continent or from South Africa, South America. So how do you really make sure that is fair trade and fair pay and no child labor in the first place? Because that's a really tricky question, and that's part of sustainability processes as well.
You're right, Sandra, you're totally right. The wish of Christian Courtin was in 2008 to systematically create a fair trade program when we selected one plant coming from Madagascar or Burkina Faso or India. As an example,
with how many countries do you work?
For sourcing,
yes,
Europe, of course, and I don't know, 10 or 12 coming from South America, Africa, India, and Indonesia. So when we work, we want to select plant coming from these countries. Systematically, we work with a local NGO to implement a fair trade program. And this fair trade program, because we work with ladies, with women, with mothers, always systematically, and we want to help them to establish a win-win programs, not only in terms of outcome, but also in terms of school. We can build in terms of water. We can bring to the villages. It's really a global approach, a global help from a social point of view and from an economical point of view. And always we have mothers in front of you. Everywhere. I've been to Madagascar. I've seen all these local villages for Chanel, but for Clarins now. And really, it is fascinating when you can notice what all these mothers can do with your help. But it's not a one-way help. It's really an exchange. And I learned so many things coming from these beautiful ladies that when you go back to Paris, you are not the same. Never.
Can you share a nice story with us, what you experienced? You can think about something.
It was in Nepal. It was in Ladakh. Do you know Ladakh? Ladakh is, yeah, you know Ladakh. It's just in between India and China. So it's a military area because of all the Tibetan refugees. And of course, I've never been there. I was not a very tourist with a lot of risky tourist, you know, at this part of my life. And we decided to put in our product a very specific flower coming from India, but the north part of India. Okay, I said, yes, I had to go there to make a movie, no problem. We used to work with a local NGO always, and this local NGO wanted to boost the vitality of a local medicine, the Amshi medicine. It's a Tibetan medicine, in fact, using the local plants, but because of the India government and India policy, the government wanted to give the priority to Ayurveda. And it was really a pity in the north of India, you don't have the same plants, such as Ayurvedic plants. So only the plant used in the Amshi medicine or Chinese medicine was available on the north of India. And of course, it's very cheap compared to antibiotics and all our drugs. They are not available there. They have only the plants. So we wanted to help a local NGO making all these very old medicine visible, and also we wanted to boost the new production of plants used in this local medicine. Okay, so I arrived in Ladakh, very well equipped, because I knew that the temperature was very low, very snowy, so I was very well equipped, perfect. And we started the film, and I worked with a beautiful mother. She was a Tibetan refugee, and she was a doctor. She was working with always her baby in the back, you see, like that, no? Very elegant, see, with a Tibetan outfit, fantastic. So we decided to visit a village very far away from Lair. Lair was the starting point of my adventure, and we decided to make visuals, to make pictures about these villages, very remote village. Because in this village, there was a local doctor using this amshi medicine, and we wanted to make images of the use of the plants there. But the night before our trip, it was very snowing, and I think 3 meters of snow appeared during the night. So we had 2 beautiful cars. I discovered that they were not at all, comment on dit 4x4? I thought that they are not at all 4x4. No. And sorry for my French, it's the emotion. So we started the trip there at 5 in the morning, so it was very early. The first military checkpoint. Oh, I was like that, okay. But I was in the car with my new friend, the doctor, and also a monk with the mantra and I don't know, like a bracelet. Bon, okay. And for the movie, we arrived at the top of the road, and all the team, they decided to make beautiful visuals with the flag. You see the Tibetan flag, to make wishes, but we spent a lot of time. And the doctor said to me, Marie-Hélène, we have to continue because there is a lot of snow, it can be very dangerous. The rest of the road, the north part of the road. Okay. So I said to the team, and the friends will go back because she said, and I'm sure she's right, that we have to leave. Okay, so we continue the trip, and we arrived at the north part of the road. A lot of snow, and I saw many trucks. You see, like that in the ravin. Okay, so the first turn. And we, because of the snow, on a glissé. Oh, my God! It was the second turn was worst. So they said, okay, we have to continue by walking. Okay. So I was very well equipped, you see, with my French equipment. And I wanted to help, of course, the doctor with the baby in the back. So I said, very elegant, hey, please continue with my arm. I'm going to help you. The first lady directly in the snow was me. So she was helping me, in fact, with her baby to say to the Parisian girl, hey, please stay very humble because you are in my country. I know how I can help you. You know nothing. So I said, my God, my son is at home. I am here. It's so dangerous. And this lady, this refugee, she helped me. Yeah, you stay very humble after this kind of story.
So I can imagine you have more than these stories you experienced with amazing women. You share your fondness
so beautiful,
of herbs.
So beautiful lady.
I can imagine. So thank you for sharing that. But are you okay with speaking a little bit innovation coming from the lab?
Yeah, with pleasure.
What are
double serum.
Yes, you will have this serum in your goodie bags.
You've got,
it's the double serum eye. Just had market entry mid-August 2021, so it's brand new. But can you tell us, despite this wonderful product, what is the latest innovation coming from the lab? Because as to my experience, I realized that the beauty industry became very scientific compared to like 10 or 15 years ago. It's incredible with stem cells and triple stem cells or whatever you now have in these creams and in the serums. But what are the latest news? What is the future of these products?
A lot of futures. 3 kind of futures.
Okay.
First of all, this double serum eye is the small brother of our bestseller, you know, the double serum, the serum for the face. So all our faithful consumers, they wanted the little brother for the eye, because you know that this area is so different from the check, for example. the thickness of the skin here is 4 times the thickness around the eyes. So you need a very specific textures to have a very efficient solution around the eyes. Then we wanted, of course, to keep the same story, the double power of this serum. Why double? Because we can use a lot of plants in these solutions according to their solubility. Because you have plants soluble in water, plants soluble in the oil. So that's why for us it's a very good solution to put in this jar the best of nature. 13 plants in this very small bottle. So the first innovation came from our biology labs, because we wanted to discover what are the needs of our skin around the eyes to stay fresh, to stay firm, with a lot of tonicity. So we discovered one of the secrets of the lack of tonicity, why we can be very tired and it's visible around the eyes, because we have near the eyes very, very small proteins at the heart of the dermis called integrins. To make it simple, they are like Velcro proteins, you see, to ensure the cohesion between all the cells and the cohesion between the fibers and the cells. And with the age, the quantity of these Velcro proteins can decrease dramatically. So we selected 30 different plants, and we check their power to help the skin to do again these Velcro proteins and to leave all this area firm, tonic, and beautiful. So we selected the most powerful plant, and it is here. I think it is here. Yeah, on this, you can see it on your box. It is the wild chervil. It comes from France, from the middle of France. It's an organic, of course, plant. And we, to obtain this plant, we have implemented a partnership with hand pickers. It's totally organic, totally respectful for nature harvesting. So for us, it's very important also to work with our suppliers with a lot of authenticity and honesty, and it's exactly the case for these hand pickers. So the second,
just taking care of your microphone.
Sandra, my new friend. So second innovation is the power of a plant, the white chervil, to boost the production of our Velcro proteins in the skin. And then the third innovation is so Clarins. It's the way you are going to apply this product to boost its power. You know, at Clarins, we love all the application method. So as an example, also for the double serum, we have created a very specific application method, always with your hands. That's very important to use the power of your hands. And you can do it with me. After applying 1 or 2 drops of your double serum eye, you know, you can select the drop you prefer according to your needs. You have a small drop or a more generous drop here, just by turning the cap. And then, when you apply, voilà, I see, you can apply it with a very specific massage, you see, by boosting the penetration here with your hand, like that. You see, it's very smooth, very delicate.
And if you would use the massage without the cream, would it help too?
Yeah.
Sorry for this.
For sure, my dear, for sure.
That's a mean question. I'm sorry about that.
But it's so delicate. I'm kidding. Voilà. So voilà. 3 kinds of innovation, my dear Sandra.
But what is coming next after that wonderful product? What is the future? We're working, because I know it's like when you do a magazine or when you write a book. Once it's out there, it's already done for you because that's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of work, right? And what are you working on right now and which will come in the next 3 or 4 years?
I have to be honest with you.
Yes.
That's a question I don't love. Because I can't answer, but because you are my new friend, I can give you a secret.
Very good.
We have a lot of pressure about a very specific topic. I'm sure you know it. It is epigenetics. So I love that because when you speak about epigenetics, you stay very positive. In fact, if you have a very good diet, if you move, if you have a good lover, if you work a lot, if you have a beautiful life.
When you work a lot, you definitely need a good lover to make you still happy. That's just a side note as well. And Clarins double serum for it. Yeah, sure. Sorry, forget that one. Okay, I didn't want to distract you. Sorry, it just came up to my mind. Oh gosh, my God, that's movie. Sorry for the pictures in your mind now.
It's very spontaneous anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
So if I go back to innovation. So this epigenetics, I love epigenetics because it's...
Maybe you should quickly just explain what epigenetics is, because I studied biology in the 1980s, and when we have been taught at university that we are just our genes, and there's nothing we can do about it. You are just your genes. And nurture, so what, your food, the things you eat, or your exposure to sunlight is just... forget about that. And meanwhile, it's the other way around with epigenetics.
It's fantastic. Imagine two twins with exactly the same genes, the same parents, the same DNA in their cells. But one of these twins is eating well, a good lover. She works. She applies sunscreens. She doesn't smoke. Everything, it doesn't exist anyway. She's perfect. But her sister... She smokes, she go outside without a sunscreen, she eats junk food as an example, she's drinking a lot of wine, blah, blah, blah. The difference around 40 or 50 years old, it's 10 years visible between the twin A and the twin B. 10 years visible on your skin with exactly the same age. But it's so positive because even at 40, even at 50, even after, if you go back to a balanced diet, a balanced sport, a lover, blah, 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 you can see all these effects on your skin, but also on your body, all your health, your flexibility, everything. So nowadays, we carry out a beautiful study based on twins to know exactly what happens inside, deeply within the skin, when you have exactly the same DNA, the same genes. And we want to know exactly the impact of the environment on these two twins differently. So I can't say you when we're going to finish the study and to find the beautiful plant working on this difference, but very soon.
Okay, so the future in the beauty industry is that you go more into the direction of studying epigenetic factors.
Yeah, because according to me, when you speak about epigenetics, it is the new holistic approach. Today, in the past, we spoke about the holistic approach. It is the same thing, but with a scientific way approach. I prefer.
So to wrap it up, Clarins is still working a lot with herbs. You try to be very sustainable, which is really a challenge when you're still global.
200 plants in our catalogue, 200.
Yeah. So, and it's really, really a challenge to work sustainable when you're a global player like Clarins.
But it's a priority.
That's for sure, because it needs. I think I'm very proud also of the young female generation who says we want to know where something comes from, And I think the generation of my mother, for instance, they were just not taught to ask, to ask questions and to ask where does that come from, right?
Even for food, for everything.
No, they just didn't know, and they have not been educated. At least my mom was not in that position to have a good education. So we're really looking forward to new wonderful products, but you said in the beginning a little bit how your future shall look like. We think you might have a very good lover and a lot of herbs. And then what's your future look like? You being a herbal doctor?
Yeah, I think so. I hope it's my wish. Working with Swiss plants also, because you have so beautiful plants in your beautiful country.
And just for final words of this interview, because before we go to the main course, maybe you should combine this thing with Tinder. That would be very nice. So thank you so much, Marie-Hélène Lair.